G'day, Matthew Cutler-Welsh here from Homestyle Green. I've just come back from the hardware store and I wanted to show you a couple of the products that I picked up, all for less than $100. Now, just before I do that though, the first thing I noticed which is pretty hard to miss when you walk into a hardware store at this time of year, is unflued gas heaters. Kind of scary. And I guess it's kind of predictable as well that this time of year everyone starts to have heating expos or big sales about heating. But I just find it really scary that people are still seriously considering buying one of these propane heaters and putting it in their lounge room or using it in their house. So just another word of caution. Do be very careful with that type of heating. It is very dangerous. It puts out lots of water vapor, which isn't good for you or for your home. And as we've discussed previously, it puts out lots of carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide and all sorts of nasties as well. So you definitely need some ventilation. I would encourage you to consider some other form of electric heating though, and stay well away from unflued gas heaters. Anyway, moved past that and I just picked up a few other bits and pieces I want to show you really quickly. Firstly, energy efficient light bulbs or compact fluorescents. Very, very simple and such a no-brainer really in terms of saving money. Some people don't like the look of them, and if you have tried them in the past and sort of thrown them out because you didn't like the colour of the light that they produce, I'd encourage you to have another go. These ones only cost me $3.50 each. They were on special, and I made sure that I got ones that had warm white on the packet because they are specially designed so that the colour of the light is the same or very similar to a regular incandescent bulb. So if you go around and change these in your house and someone flicks the light on, they probably won't even notice. That is until you get the power bill, and it's much less. So that's an easy one. Now the next one is draft proofing. Now that we've got the insulation done on the ceiling and under the floor, the place that we really notice the cold coming through is our wooden joinery, so our doors and our windows that are a little bit leaky, to be expected in a house built in the 1950s, 60s with wooden joinery. So to fix those rattles, to stop the cold air from coming in, we've got some rubber and some foam draft proofing here. But I also picked up another one which I really like, and I'm going to show you in a bit more detail. But this is it's called V-Seal. And essentially it's a piece of plastic. It's very simple, but with a piece of self-adhesive on one side of it. And you fold it in half, and like a V, and put it on the edge of a window or a door, and it expands back out to fill the space between the door and the frame and stop the airflow coming through. The main advantage with this one is it fits in a much smaller space, because one of the problems with these is even if it feels like a particularly rattly door, often you put it in and close the door because it's just a little bit too fat. Whereas this one's very, very thin, but it opens up so it's the gap and will it fills a gap, an uneven gap, because it expands in the places it needs to. So very good product. It's slightly dearer, but probably lasts a bit longer and is more effective. So I'll run through that in a bit more detail. This one's a bit of an interesting one, a washing line. Now, very fortunate here to have a garage undercover, and also sort of a carport area, but doesn't have anywhere to hang any washing out during the winter. So this is one way I'm going to put this up so that we can avoid having to use the dryer for doing drying washing during winter. And to go with that, got some new pegs as well, because there's nothing worse than crusty old pegs. And finally on my list, got a few bits and pieces to put some curtains back up. Now I've got a few collections of old curtains and old curtain rails, and they don't quite match up. The good news is that most parts are available, so that you can get clips and sliders and all sorts of things to get those curtains working again. So that's all in aid of keeping the heat into the house, stopping cold air from moving in. And with all those products, less than $100, I think we can make a real significant difference over and above the improvements we've already made with insulation.